Every year on the third Monday of January, America pauses. Mail isn't delivered, banks are closed, and many people have the day off from work. But this isn't just another long weekend. This is Martin Luther King Jr. Day, a day to honor a man whose dream reshaped the nation. So, what is this day really all about, and why does it continue to matter so deeply today? This federal holiday is dedicated to the life and legacy of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., the chief spokesperson for the nonviolent civil rights movement. He was a Baptist minister, a husband, a father, and a powerful orator who fought for racial equality and justice for all Americans. Born on January 15, 1929, King's leadership from the mid-1950s until his assassination in 1968 was instrumental in ending the legal segregation of African Americans in the South and other parts of the United States. His "I Have a Dream" speech, delivered during the 1963 March on Washington, remains one of the most iconic speeches in American history. A powerful vision of a future where people are judged not by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character. The journey to make his birthday a national holiday was a long and challenging one. The campaign began just 4 days after King's assassination in 1968. For 15 years, civil rights activists, lawmakers, and citizens petitioned and marched. Musician Stevie Wonder even released the song "Happy Birthday" in 1982, popularized the campaign. Finally, in 1983, President Ronald Reagan signed the bill into law, and the first official Martin Luther King Jr. Day was observed in 1986. However, it wasn't until the year 2000 that all 50 states officially observed a holiday. This struggle itself reflects the very resistance to change that Dr. King fought against his entire life. It's why decades later, does this day matter more than ever? It's not just a history lesson. It's a mirror reflecting our present and a compass pointing toward our future. Dr. King's work was centered on what he called the triple evils: poverty, racism, and militarism. He understood that these issues were deeply interconnected. You couldn't fight for racial justice without also fighting for economic justice. You couldn't build a peaceful society at home while promoting conflict abroad. Let's look at racism. The Civil Rights Act of 1964 and the Voting Rights Act of 1965 were monumental victories, dismantling the legal framework of segregation. But Dr. King knew that changing laws was only the first step. The more difficult battle was changing hearts and minds and rooting out the systemic racism embedded in institutions, in housing, education, employment, and the justice system. Today, we see the echoes of this struggle in ongoing debates about police reform, racial disparities in wealth and health outcomes, and the fight for fair representation. When we see protests against injustice, we are seeing the continuation of the very work Dr. King championed. He taught us that injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. This holiday reminds us that the fight for racial equality is not a finished chapter in a history book. It's an ongoing commitment. Then there's poverty. Dr. King spent the final years of his life organizing the Poor People's Campaign. He envisioned a multicultural coalition of Americans from all backgrounds demanding economic justice. He advocated for a guaranteed basic income, affordable housing, and full employment. He argued that a nation that spends billions on wars while its citizens struggle to afford food and shelter has his priorities dangerously backward. Today, conversations about living wages, income inequality, and the social safety net are direct descendants of Dr. King's economic vision. The challenges of automation, the gig economy, and the rising cost of living make his call for economic justice incredibly relevant. MLK Day prompts us to ask ourselves, are we building an economy that works for everyone, or just a select few? And finally, militarism. Dr. King was a vocal critic of the Vietnam War, a stance that was highly controversial at the time. He saw the war as a moral and spiritual drain on the nation, diverting resources and attention from domestic problems like poverty and racism. He preached nonviolence, not just as a tactic for protest, but as a fundamental way of life, and a principle for international relations. In our modern world, with its complex global conflicts and massive military budgets, his warnings about the spiritual and economic costs of war are just as urgent. He challenged us to be a society that values peacemaking over war-making, diplomacy over conflict. This day encourages us to reflect on what true strength is: it the power to dominate, or the courage to seek understanding and reconciliation? Looking ahead, what might the future of Dr. King's legacy look like? His principles of nonviolent resistance, strategic organization, and coalition building are being adapted by new generations of activists around the world. See it in climate change movements, where young people are demanding a sustainable future. We see it in global movements for democracy and human rights. The tools have changed. Social media can now organize a march in minutes, and digital platforms can spread a message across the globe in seconds, but the core principles remain the same. The future of King's dream depends on our ability to see the connections between different struggles. It depends on an environmental activist recognizing the fight for clean air is linked to racial justice, as pollution disproportionately affects minority communities. It depends on a tech worker advocating for ethical AI to prevent biased algorithms from perpetuating old prejudices. The future of this day may also see a deeper emphasis on service. In 1994, Congress designated Martin Luther King Jr. Day as a National Day of Service, a day on, not a day off. This shifts the focus from passive remembrance to active participation. Instead of just thinking about Dr. King's ideals, we're encouraged to live them out by volunteering in our communities, mentoring a young person, or participating in a local service project. This is perhaps the most powerful way to honor his legacy, by taking personal responsibility for building the beloved community he envisioned, a society based on justice, equal opportunity, and love for one's fellow human beings. As we move forward, the challenge will be to ensure this day doesn't become sanitized or commercialized, but remains a potent catalyst for action and self-reflection. So, as we mark this day, what is the key takeaway? Martin Luther King Jr. Day is more than just a memorial. It's an annual checkup for the soul of the nation. It's a call to action. It's a challenge for each of us to look at the world around us and ask, what am I doing to bend the arc of the moral universe toward justice? Dr. King's work is not finished, and the responsibility to continue it doesn't belong to one group of people. It belongs to all of us. Whether it's by challenging prejudice in our daily lives, advocating for fair policies, or serving our communities, we all have a role to play. His dream was not a passive hope, but an active, demanding vision for a better world. And this day is our yearly reminder to keep building it together. Thank you for watching. If you found this video insightful, please like, share, and subscribe for more content that explores the ideas that shape our world.